Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome back to our continuing discussions on development of integrated mine closure. So, for our mine closure and sustainability planning, we need to we have been discussing about how we integrate different phases and then how we integrate the closure functions and closure activities with the normal mining operations. Now, there are two other entities, that is which the mining companies are always working, that is corporate social responsibility, and the other one is environmental management plan. Now, these two are corporate social responsibility as well as the environment planning and environment management. These are directly related to the society. So, when we are thinking of mine closure is also that our mining company's liability for the future society. So, that is why when we talk of this integrated mine closure, we talk of this corporate social responsibility and EMP, environmental management plan, that need to be integrated. Now, this mine closure itself is a social responsibility. So, this concept, that is exactly the all mining operations, it run with the social licensing. The society must accept it. Without the acceptability of society, the operations cannot be continued, and all mining industry personnel, all the mining companies, they know about what is this taking social licensing through the different type of engagements. That a common term you will be hearing when you go to the mine site is that public hearing. Your decisions, that is to be exactly, you will have to take public hearing. In another way, taking the people to take the mining decisions, that is somewhere it is there for our environmental planning. So, now how this mine closure as a social responsibility can be integrated to the mining operation is a matter of concern, and mine closure is also an environmental management, because ultimately that whatever the environmental conditions after the mining, that is why we can very easily say that mine closure is to be integrated with the corporate social responsibility and the environmental management plan. So, the CSR and EMP are the major concerns for any mine closure planning, and when we talk of integrated mine closure planning or sustainability planning, if we look into that post mining scenario development, post mining conditions development, and then we can integrate these two things, that can help. So, in today's discussion, we will be giving you some general idea about how this the CSR and environmental management is done, but then certain tools and techniques are required. Say for example, one very big problem of the post mining site is the stability of the slopes left in the pit, or stability of the slopes of the overburden dumps which are kept around, and sometimes the sliding of those dumps, they can create a lot of environmental and safety hazards. So, sometimes when during the mining operations, when you integrate the think of that, ultimately at the end of the mine we will have to resume, or we will have to get the chemical stability as well as the physical stability of all the that is your dumped material or the pit slopes. So, that is why there is a methodology we will be discussing by that is your plantation some particular type of grass we can stabilize, or we can talk about the bioremediation of the site, that when our that is your derelicted mine site, if we can go for doing a bioremediation by which the society can be benefited. So, that means the environmental management and social benefit when they are clubbed together by a particular grass called vetiver, that we tell this is a vetiverization, that vetiverization as a tool of this CSR and EMP will be discussed today. But before that, what is exactly needed for a CSR, that is corporate social responsibility in a mining company, that is basically a empowerment oriented and strength based practices focusing on community participation in larger goals. That means the society, that community, whoever living around the mines, they will have to participate, and in their practice they will be getting empowered. They can get their livelihood, they can get their skill development for going in elsewhere for getting a better scopes. So, you are empowering the society, and at the same time you are exactly getting them involved in your mining related operations. So, that we will have to, whenever we are thinking of a corporate social responsibility program, we will have to focus on the community involvement, we will have to focus on the strength, self direction and empowerment of the users who will be there, how they will be benefited. The community or the people involved, their benefit is of main concern. Then the recognition that change is possible, that means the society must accept they have got that positive mindset. That means whatever is there, the situations can be changed, and the change will be for the betterment, and they will have to recognize that this particular directional change will be bringing benefit to them, and also they will have to recognize that recognition of the value of peer support and that your informal network, that is sometimes the public opinion amongst them whatever grow, that exactly drive them into some activities. So, sometimes you start doing a very good program, people are coming, but suddenly some people somewhere will be telling, no, ye kya hoga, isse kuch nahi hoga, and after that you will find the whole people they fail to recognize the value, and then the whole program get jeopardized. So, there are certain rumor mongers, there are certain some people for their motivated interest these things happen. So, while you are implementing corporate social responsibility, if you are managing them, then the people whom you are engaging that need to be very carefully selected. And what happens once you have focused on these things, then the stakeholder integration and stakeholder engagement is another area. That means when you will be doing your mining, at that time your stakeholders are, that is the buyers who is buying it, the suppliers, and then a lot of other people who are involved in that supply chains, as well as the local villages, local market, local schools, hospital, these are your stakeholders. But thing is that when your mine will be closed, at that time the dominant stakeholders, they will be different. The people who are doing a lot of business over here today, in future they will not be there, and they may not be interested in the future activities. So, how to get them, those stakeholders also, to make it realize that they have got also a responsibility for the community. And then the basic things that what is done in our corporate social responsibility program implementation is, you will have to respect for human rights. That is, everybody has got certain things, they have got the right to livelihood, they have got the right to a comfort living, they have got the right to the natural resources of air, water and all, they have got right to get good free air, good free water. But by our activities, if we have intervened it, we have intervened it very already in our if you see in the city life, it is because of the human activities the right to get the good free air has been already disturbed. Similarly, in the mining area, there are also certain rights get affected, and then our contributing to the sustainability is another principle. That means, while we are doing our as a for the community, we should make their development sustainable. Not that today you have given them a very good shopping center with you have brought a lot of good big mall or very good shops and very good important materials you have brought over there for the, and you have given a very good salary and job to the local community. They are having now, they are rich people, they can buy, but as soon as your mine is closed, will there that lifestyle, will there that life pattern, will there those habits for having, if you have created a park and there is a beautiful light and there is a water and then you have been cleaning the things over there, they have got used to it, will it be continuing after your mine is closed? If not, that means you are giving only a non-sustainable solution or non-sustainable comfort. That non-sustainable comfort could be sometimes dangerous. If you can give a free food to the schools, and then if you find certainly, then their efforts for getting food will be reduced, and then their skill for producing food will be lost, and then when at some time you cannot give them, at that time they will be jeopardized. If by getting free food the people are not working for their livelihood, they forgot how to exactly grow crops, how to do some carpentry job, how to do some other skilled activities which they were doing before getting free food, then exactly you are affecting adversely the sustainability. That means their skill sustainability, their way of doing that should remain sustainable. And then you will have to respect the diversity while you are working with the social responsibility. When we see, we should not discriminate on the basis of gender, religion, race, nationality, ethnic origin, cultural background, social group, disability, that your gender orientations, marital status, age, political opinion, these may vary person to person, but you respect it. That is a diversity. He may be praying in a different way, but he has got the same right for living. So that respect will have to be brought, and then also that respect will be coming when the people have also the responsibility, that if the government or the institution is to respect them equally outside while living, they also will have to live with that, demonstrate that. When those things is mixed, then that exactly the respect for diversity get affected. So this is an important point when developing a program for corporate social responsibility implementations. We will have to see the subjects also will have to be seen whether they are also respecting this diversity or not. If they are not, then the project which you will be implementing will take a different turn. Then the practicing dialogue, that is, you are prepared to enter into an open dialogue with the relevant stakeholders integrity. That means you will be having a public hearing, you will be having their opinion, and then you just make them to, it is not by only a dictating and by just forcing a particular activity, but with a discussions the problem should be solved. It is exactly, that is what happens in socially in all other things. At the same time, one thing, the corporate social responsibility principle is being honest and fair in dealings. Now see, these are coming as when we are talking about the integrated mine closure. In the integrated mine closure, the sociological aspects are also equally integrated. So as a planner, if you are making yourself ready for the planning, the planners should be having all these things integration. You must know the society, you must know things, and there few things are very important. That is a fair pay, that is your all the financial and security of the employees guarded with the minimum payments. That is exactly, you cannot make a discriminate payment, that is the ladies will get a less salary, that is the ladies will be employed for a less time, they will not be given leave and things like that. But you will have to, whatever they are working for, that the pay should be fair. Then local sourcing strategy, that is purchase from the local community and ensuring all suppliers fulfill basic social and ecological standards through the practicing eco-social criteria in purchasing. That means wherever possible in your operations, try to engage the local people, their productions, their things. So that's why when we will be telling that you are to, after the post mining, your mining site, you need to do a plantation. Now for that plantation, that you must help under corporate social responsibility to the neighboring villages, that you guide, which you bring expert to guide, let them run a nursery, so that whatever the saplings you will be buying, it should be procured. That means someone in the neighboring village should be able to supply that. If you are having a canteen in your mine company, that canteen's milk must be coming from a very quality dairy and quality farm developed in the mining community. But you will find everywhere, wherever the mines are there, in spite of in the rural areas, they will be just bringing a Amul milk only. That price of the local shopkeeper will be keeping at least 10 or 12 rupees more than what they buy in the cities. Why? Because there it is a scarce. The mining community, as a corporate social responsibility, should have developed a grassland, should have given a goat farm or a cattle farm over there, and the villagers should have been giving over there, and that is exactly a corporate social responsibility. And that milk farm, as because it is a food producing, it could have been also a sustainable development for the post mining area. So this type of thinking will have to be developed amongst you, and encourage anti-corruption propaganda and non-corruptive practices. Near the mining area, you will find that there is a lot of, that is your social what we say, that is malpractices or whatever it is there, because that is a place where many people don't like to go, because interior and all that things. Some people, some dishonest people, definitely they crop in there because they find it is very good place. You will find that some of the interior areas where they do not get many good officers, and all many corrupted officers get posted in an interior of northeast, and they do not look into the development of those areas. If you see that in all the states of the northeast and the backward areas are because the people who are responsible for doing it are corrupted. So this corruption level in those areas become more. Some of the things can be proven, but some of the things we cannot prove, we cannot tell, but it is a open secret. But when you are thinking of this corporate social responsibility, we'll have to encourage anti-corruptions, and for that we'll have to design a system that transparency is there. But thing is that you will find, if you want to develop a transparent system, there will be a lot of objections in that, exactly where corruption practice is, it is more, you will find it difficult to bring a transparency. So fair tax policy, this is of course, it is a very transparent, and then there is a prevailing fiscal network of the state and the nation. Nowadays, of course, just thanks God, that thanks our present system, because of everything is related to the PAN card and everything is there in our fiscal system. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we see a lot of transparency and correctness has come. Then maintaining long-term commitment on sponsored social welfare projects, that can be done through CSR. Then employees informed of CSR activities, so that you must keep all the employees known about that what your company is doing, and so that everyone should feel we have done it. Just like that, exactly, if in an institutions, in college, in one department, if they get a very national award, every department, everybody we can claim that yes, my institution has got this award. Like that, you make the people aware of the things over there. So, this monitoring the performances is another thing. For monitoring performances, you will have to learn what are called KPI, or the key performance indicators, and you should keep a track of that. That is where how your CSR activities will be there. And then you will have to encourage innovations to how CSR can be brought to the society, and then you can do number of work on energy conservation, recycling and social value addition in the society. And then the other thing is that you will have to give a proper value and respect to the people and the community who are living around your mining area or around your industry. And then you will have to encourage them in developing some environmental measures that results in economic advantages, and sometimes for that you will have to keep them involved. So, now that when World Environment Day comes, everywhere they do the plantations and all in the institutionally. You can encourage that, you get a open database telling that every household will be informing how many plants or trees they have given over there, and by that you can bring the total data at exactly what is the total plantation has been made and how the changes have taken place. So, that means the encouraging the people to participate in different your environmental and standard activities will ultimately increase your ecological responsibility, as well as it will reduce your post mining liability, and then your this environmental management and the CSR, they will get integrated. Now, we should always be aware of what is our ecological footprint. That is, we can see, if you go to a campus, you will find out in some of the campuses, some of this the places, big trees, 30 years, 40 years old big trees. That means some people in the past, they have kept that ecological footprint. Now, what we are doing, we are cutting trees, we are digging a mines, and then we are putting over there. What is our footprint? Is it a dusty road? Is our ecological footprint is many medicinal plants have been destroyed? So, we will have to be aware of it, so that we can also keep a good ecological footprint after the mining or after whatever activities. This thing which I am telling is true wherever you work, whatever be the things, but this your activities as a corporate social responsibility and environmental plan, their concepts should be very clear, so that your activities will be your climate protective responsive. That means ultimately, if we do any damage to the environment, there will be a damage to our climate somewhere or other. So, making people aware of this is also a corporate social responsibility. So, now when we see into our normal practices in the mine, what mine does normally to the neighboring villages? They support education. Sometimes they will be distributing some of the means, like the bicycle they will be distributing. Sometimes you will see as a CSR activity, they are giving a sewing machine, that is, but thing is that sometimes they give a sewing machine, but they do not train the people for doing a good embroidery. So, exactly while you are giving you should see that when you are supporting an NGO, they will be doing over there, but it many times it become a show of one day. If you want to do that, means support the villagers and their people, that is your economically, while giving or distributing a sewing machine, you will have to also bring good trainer and embroidery maker. Not only that, you will have to create a market. That means maybe that exactly you will be imposing that all the employees whoever living in their colony, they will have to change their door curtain or window curtain in a year, and let the company give a subsidy of say whatever 10% or 20% if they claim, and then all these things, their stitching of those curtain can be done by those villagers who have got the sewing machine. So, that type of planning need to be done. So, it is just providing some facilities or providing some training and assisting to run, that is not the end of the story. As a corporate social responsibility, you will have to create a market that sustainable development will be coming, and whatever the training it is there, it will be doing a sustainable benefit, provided you can create a market. So, as I have said here, what mind does normally to the neighborhood villages on this, you start thinking in a differently, because you are now studying how to do the planning for your mine closure, and you will have to plan for the sustainability. So, you need to start thinking that what type of business can be developed to the villages, and then a market can be given to them, so that they can continue and develop it. And there are, how are they prepared for post mine closure scenario? Are they aware of the situation after the mine closure? Have you made them know about it? What will be the remaining forest resources after the mining is closed? What will be the hydrogeological conditions? What will be the sustainability of the facilities provided? What will be the new challenges? What are the remaining life of the support systems? That you must inform them. And then through your CSR and EMP integration, you will have to make them understanding the impacts of the closure as a life of mine activity. That is, when throughout the life, anytime certain units are getting closed, and then social management capability of the society and the company will have to be found. So, the infrastructure left behind after mine closure needs to be put into full use. How it can be done, for that necessary activities and work will have to be planned. Land left by the mining activities should be rendered suitable for agriculture purposes and other plant fiber producing plants like bamboos to achieve multiple objectives. That land you will have to treat and make it a productive, then only it will help the society. Plants with ability to absorb metals, or that it can, so that there are certain plants who can clean the toxicity of the area, so you will have to plant them. And then at the transformation at the end of the mine life, we will have to bring, that is a corporate social responsibility for environmental management. So, what will be happening when major mining projects come to the end and the economic life? How does villagers will survive after this end of the mining activities, and what industrial transformation will be meaning to them? That industry may changing their way of doing, they may go for more mechanization, they don't require more labor, but while doing these things, that how new benefits or new opportunities will be created for the villagers. How should the mining companies optimize their closure efforts? Then the social performance perspectives will have to be defined, and for that you are optimizing the mine closure from a social performance. You will have to understand the impacts of closure properly, and then the phenomena of interactions of physical and chemical forces that need to be scientifically studied, and that is what as an engineer role is changing. This is a transitional and transformational period. The role of engineers are becoming more pervasive and going to change, and then you will have to predict the life of the assets and establish a timeline activities for them, and then you will have to plan early and you permit to do the things whatever you want, and then social management will have to bring, because otherwise you will see that when the mine is closed, you will be having such type of areas only, that heaps of materials lying over there, certain attempts taken, that attempts are not exactly doing, somehow or other it has been managed. Or what can be there, that heaps will be breaking down and sometimes it can create hazards. You have done a lot of plantations by many mines, they do overburden dumps, they have done the plantations, but there you can see that nothing is there under the rainy seasons and all, it will be just sliding down, and they will be creating lot of your things will be started falling down. You can see the gully formations will become such a, and this all these fines or the seals, this will be migrating to the neighboring river, and from the river it will, the suspended particles will be spreading into the forest, and in the forest or the grassland or the agricultural land, if this soil or this material which does not have any organic carbon, which does not support producing trees, if they spread into the forest, you will find that this forest is going to die, and if the forest die, you can see that how the desertification will start. So that's why the social responsibility of mine closure is such type of material should not kill our forests is the first thing, and for that you will have to make your sustainable planning. So for that your CSR will have to make it so that how you will be empowering them, so that the principle of do no harm, when you will be bringing this principle, and in that one solutions we are telling this a grass, particular grass which is called Chrysophogon zizanoid. This Chrysophogon zizanoid is a grass, it is called vetiver. This has got more than 72 varieties in India. Then vetiver is from the Tamil word vetivriti, and this was introduced and exactly in the 1980s when a World Bank team came for some the protecting the erosions of the fertilizer that is your agricultural land. So there is a history of it, but once this grass is coming, this grass can its root grow very fast and very deep. The root can be up to it can be up to 2-3 meter depth it will go, and they can create a mass. So if you plant this grass on a slope, it just stabilizes the slope, and then once it stabilizes, you can put, that is in a systematic way you can plan it, and then the soil get improved, and over there you can create. We have demonstrated in about more than 4 or 5 years ago that even in a slope area which can be stabilized, and then we can produce fruits, vegetables also over there. And this particular grass, it grow almost in everywhere at a -20 degree to it can go up to 45-47 degree also, no problem, and even it can remain under water for 2-3 months, no problem. It can absorb the heavy metals from the ground, but that when it absorbs the heavy metal, it can be there in the root, but it will not get into the shoot. That means if cows or goat takes this grass, then this contaminant will not be going to their body. So in that way it is a God gifted a miracle grass called vetiver, which is in Thailand they have declared is a national grass, and they have their king of Thailand has propagated this in the whole country, because they have got lot of natural slopes which fail. So wherever such type of slopes are there in the hillside, they have planted this grass, because this grass root, it gives a particular oil. That oil, if it is extracted, that is used in pharmaceuticals, in medicines, even in many Ramdev Baba's medicines also use this. And in Haridwar also there is a place where this grass is planted. In India, in Raipur we have got many nurseries, they do it. In Kerala they have done these plantations about 8-10 years ago, and it has got lot of other benefits of this grass. So Chrysophogon zizanoid or vetiver, this is a thing which has been introduced in Indian mining in 2014-15 by IIT Kharagpur, and now more than 20-25 mines are using this for stabilizing the slopes, and once it is stabilized, it become a social property, and then your social responsibility can be now done, environment is managed. So this grass can be a means for your EMP and CSR made. Say in Thailand they make from this grass this type of your cot, and then many your table mats and things like that, and then from the roots you can make different type of artifacts. These are the artifacts they make which can be sold. It has got a market. If the grass is dried and pressed, and then you can make this briquette which can be used as a fuel, and then if the grass can be made to use the sofa sets or some decorative item, the grass can also be threshed house. And then because this grass goes very thick, and there if you are on, suppose you are having a corn field or a rice field, around this if you are putting, then the grass will not exactly that will retain the fertilizer, it will not go, so the productivity will increase. So there are tremendous use can be made, and this grass is also in our CMEP in Lucknow. They have got that institute of that is your our for medicinal and aromatic plants, they have got and they have developed some hybrid of it which can give more oil, and in Darbhanga and in some places even some rice field they have converted to this grass. So, that means this can transform the society near the mining field, provided we use these things for our slope stabilization, at the same time to making some sustainable business for the people. And then there is exactly we can develop a framework how exactly that CSR activities and environmental activities they can be played together, and then overall performance can be made. So, this we will be discussing maybe during our planning classes later on, but what we have understood here is CSR and EMP can be integrated for post mining wealth and sustainable business creation, and vetiverization of slopes is an example of such transformation as highlighted over here. These vetiverizations, of course, I initiated in around 2012-13, and this has been established. Maybe then another experiment I did for bamboo plantation on the slope, that was also successful. Also, there are another method called Miyawaki method for creating rapid forest regenerations over the slope. Those are the things through which exactly in an innovatively and a different way what the people are doing, little bit away from that, you can also think of that CSR and EMP integration can give a post mining mine closure planning and sustainability planning in a much better and different way. So, there are few articles here and there, and then particularly you should go to the Vetiver Network International to get some of the vetiver things, and CSR and environmental management plan, lot of books are also available, articles are available. Start initiating studying about it. Thank you.